My name is Keith Walton, and the month and year of my birth is September 2000. For us 2000 babies, it's quite easy to figure our age. You just go off the last two digits of whatever year it is, but can vary based off the month of birth. A lot of events happened in September 2000. The 27th Olympic Summer Games were hosted in Sydney, Australia. The Space Shuttle Atlantis returned after bringing 3 tons of supplies to the newly equipped International Space Station. North Texas gets rain after an 84-day drought, even though it was just light showers. California enabled the generous college aid plan. This stated that needy high school students with good grades are guaranteed grants or full tuitions at states, public institutions, and nearly $10,000 a year towards tuition at private universities. A gene linked to adult diabetes has been identified on September 26th when isolated by scientists and the study of Mexican Americans in Texas County with the heavy burden of the type 2 of this disease. Right. On September 25th, the Senate approved aid for the Everglades. It was an overwhelming consent, sending $7.8 billion to restore the ecosystem in Florida. On September 22nd, the British Court of Appeal ruled out the separation of twins, which states that doctors can operate on pairs or conjoined twins at birth. This procedure would sacrifice one twin to save the other. This was more than a decade after Ben Carson separated the joined twins in 1987. So to give that privilege to any doctor qualified for that job is a monumental step in the medical field. On September 10th, Indiana U coach was dismissed. Bob Knight was fired for repeated abuse of student players and staff of the basketball team. On September 28th, the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, announced acceptance of the marketing of the RU486, or a prescription drug that is the first alternative to abortion in the United States. In September, one of the major news points was the aggressive marketing of violent video games or media towards the youth society. This was due to the popular gang movies and video games such as Grand Theft Auto, which was getting GTA 3 the following year, which was a very realistic game for the time period, and Mortal Kombat, which was a very controversial game at the time due to its excessive gore. On September 18th, a California philanthropist plans to record a donation to modernize the National Museum of American History, or the Smithsonian. For the cost of living back in September of 2000, the average income per year was $40,343. The average monthly rent was $675. The average cost of a gallon of gas was $1.26, which is nothing compared to the $3 a gallon we spend today. That's literally more than double the cost. The average cost of a new car was $24,750. The average postage stamp was 33 cents. The average for a pound of ground coffee was $3.44. And the price for a dozen of eggs was 89 cents. Going back to the Olympics that year, There were a total of 10,651 athletes from 199 different countries participating in 300 events. The 2000 Olympic Games were the first to feature Taekwondo and the triathlon, and the first to allow women athletes to compete in weightlifting. The US won the most medals with 93, Russia in second with 83, and China in third with 58. In 2000, Bill Gates leaves his position as CEO of Microsoft, where Steve Ballmer takes over as CEO. The reason Bill resigned his position was so that he can spend more time doing charity work for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Music in 2000, or September of 2000, was all over the place. Number one on the charts was a song called Music by Madonna. Number two was Doesn't Really Matter by Janet Jackson. And number three was Jumpin' Jumpin' by Destiny Child. Fashion in the early 2000s was influenced by technology and Y2K. The color palette was filled with shiny black tones and reflective metallics. Popular outfits for women included mesh or handkerchief tops, box or pleated or leather skirts, and chunky shoes. Casual clothing was another big trend in the early 2000s. Denim became a staple of men and women, going beyond jeans to shirts, jackets, and hats. A more casual look for just women involved crop tops, hoodies, low-rise, flared jeans, cargo pants, Daisy Dukes, jean skirts, and off-the-shoulder tops, ripped sweaters, with platform sandals, Ugg boots, and sneakers. Common looks for men include distressed denim, cargo shorts, tracksuits, rugby or polo shirts, flip-flops, Oxford shoes, and sneakers. I feel like I have to mention a little gaming, or how gaming was like back then. In September of 2000, the gaming consoles that were dominating was the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 2 was not released in the US yet, but was released in Japan. The PS2 is still the highest selling non-handheld console in history, which is great for the 2000s. Why the PS2 sold so well is because it was the cheapest DVD player on the market. Back in 2000s, the average price of a DVD player at the time was $700 to $1,200, while the launch price of a PS2 was only $299. A lot happened in September of 2000, but that's what makes the time I was born unique. Thank you. And I'll be showing my two audience members. So here is my stepdad, Ben, and the other audience member who was recording is my mother right here. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoy the presentation.
Great job.